Hi guys, today we're looking at the Omega Speedmaster Professional, otherwise known as the Moonwatch. Now, first we'll talk about the history of this watch, and it's Omega reference number 3570.50. Anyway, this watch was the one that was worn on the moon during the Apollo 11 mission by Buzz Aldrin, and this is the only watch that is flight qualified by NASA for extravehicular activity. The story goes that NASA was putting together their procedures for the Project Gemini spacewalks, and they realized that they didn't have a watch approved for spacewalks, and they were running out of time, so they just sent 2 engineers down to a watch store in Houston just to pick up 6 off-the-shelf chronographs and then to bring back and test out. So they bought an Omega, a Breitling, a Bulova, a Longines, and a Hoyer, and a Rolex, and they tested these watches in a vacuum. They tested them against humidity, corrosion, pressure, acceleration, shock, some other stuff. And at the end of the test, only the Speedmaster was running well enough for them to approve to be used in space. So that's how this became the Moonwatch. Now, to go over the specs of the watch, it's a stainless steel case, it's a chronograph, you have a stainless steel case back, black dial, all white markers. I don't know if you can see this, but it says Omega Speedmaster Professional on the watch. This big hand, you may wonder why it's not moving. This is a chronograph, so the big hand is the seconds hand for the chrono. So you can see I just started it, now I'll stop and then put it back. Over here, this dial is your seconds dial, your regular seconds for the time. Over here you have the minute counter for the chronograph. It's only a 30-minute counter. And down here you have the hour counter for the chronograph. Around the face you have the tachymeter bezel. That's for measuring the speed of something like a race car. Use it along with the chronograph. I'm not really sure how to use it, and I don't think many people are. But it looks nice, so I like having it. Now, let's see. This has a hazelite crystal. This is a plastic crystal. Now that's very unusual for a modern luxury watch. Almost everything has a sapphire crystal, and the sapphire crystal is very scratch resistant. This hazelite crystal will scratch up really easily. But the good thing about it is that it's really easy to fix that. All you do, you buy this stuff, it's called Polywatch. You just squeeze a little dab on there, and then you take any cloth, you just rub it around for a couple minutes, and then it looks like new. So it's not such a big deal that this will scratch up. You can really easily, this is like $5. You can just fix it up in just a few minutes. And I do that every couple of months because I wear this watch just about every day, so it gets pretty scratched up. The good thing about hazelite though is that it won't shatter if you hit this really hard, and that's why it was important for space. You can't have glass shards floating around everywhere. So NASA needed to have a plastic crystal. Now, I'm going to talk about this strap. This is not the strap that I bought it on. This is called the perforated racing strap, and this is an Omega strap, but I bought it separately from the watch. You can see here, this is leather, it's black leather with a tan leather inside. I've seen some versions of this strap that have a black interior lining. I don't know why mine has tan. It seems like most have black. I don't know if it's when they produce it or if black is older than tan. I have no idea. But to use this strap, you need to buy this Omega deploying clasp, which is very nice. It's a push button clasp, but it is expensive. So to buy the clasp and the strap, altogether it's going to cost you a few $100. So I think it looks really good, and it's nice quality. It's a curved end, so it fits snug up against the case, and I think it looks great on the watch. But it is expensive, so you're going to have to decide if it's worth it to buy this. Now let's put this down. It came on this stainless steel bracelet. This is a really nice, heavy, solid bracelet. It has a push button clasp, which is nice clasp. It's heavy, it's solid, it feels good, it doesn't pull hairs, so it's very comfortable. It has a brushed center link, and the outside links are brushed. And then you can see here there's a polished, really little tiny polished sliver. So it's an interesting looking clasp. You can see mine's all scuffed up because I wear this a lot, and I've had this watch for about 2 years. But you can brush this out with like the Scotch-Brite pads that you use for your pots and pans. You can look up online for tutorials about how to do that. It's actually, I've done it on other watches. It's really simple, and you can make your stuff look like new. So I wouldn't worry too much about the scratches. To switch your straps to bracelets, you buy a little spring bar tool like this. I don't know if you can see this little fork at the end. All you do is go in here and you grab the collar of your spring bar and just kind of, it's really simple to get it out and switch. So I like to switch my straps a lot. I have here my leather, the bracelet, and then this is a cheap rubber strap I bought, but it's actually pretty nice. It's called the Tropic style strap, and I think it's a vintage style, so I think it looks good on the watch. So there's that, I wear that a lot. And then I have this NATO strap. This is a one-piece nylon strap. These are also cheap, but they're really nice. They come in all different colors. This one's olive, as you can see, but then I have black. I have different stripe patterns, and that's a really good choice. I think it looks good on the watch. So just to go back, this watch doesn't have a date window, so you just have your time and your chronograph. There's no date. I got used to that. I would just look at my cell phone, so I don't think it's a big deal. But that may bother some people. Let's take a look at the back here, the case back. You should be able to see at the top it says flight qualified by NASA for all manned space missions, and on the bottom it says the first watch worn on the moon. They make this watch with a sapphire crystal, so if you bought the sapphire version, which people like to call the sapphire sandwich, and that's because there's sapphire on the front, and there's also a sapphire case back, so you'll be able to see the movement, which is pretty nice looking. So that's not how this watch originally was made, but if the plastic really bothers you, or if you really want to see the movement, you can buy that. So now this is, I probably mentioned this is a manual wind watch. You have to turn the crown to wind it up. It'll go for about 2 days when it's fully wound. So I wind mine about every day, and that's not really a big deal. There's a anti-magnetic dust cover under this case back. I don't know if you're walking through magnetic fields a lot, so that's probably not a big deal, but it's there. So I think it's a really good looking watch. I like how it has the NASA history. I'll see if I can show it to you on my wrist, if I can turn my wrist. It looks good. It's not too big, not too small. So if you're looking for a chronograph and you like the vintage style, because this watch, it's barely changed in looks since when it was first made. It was first made in 1957, and if you looked at one from then and from now, there's very few differences. So it's a vintage style. You can see how the crystal kind of protrudes over the bezel. A lot of vintage watches look like that. So you can see how it distorts. I don't know if you can see this, but when you look at it from an angle, it distorts the face, which is kind of cool. So it's a great vintage looking watch, a great chronograph, runs well. Mine's very accurate. I'm very happy with that, and it's just a really nice Omega. So if you want a classic chronograph, a classic watch that has a really cool history that a lot of watches out there don't, the Speedmaster Professional is a good choice for you. Thanks for watching.